Hi netizens! I'm Margielyn Rivera. I'm from BSED 2B.
I am Patricia Mae Moreno from BSED 2B.
Hi, I am General Albert Pagas from BSED 2A.
Hi, I am Jamaica Malig-on from BSED 2A.
Hi, I'm Lanie Mae Agualing from BSED 2B.
Hi, I am Joshua Balbuena from BSED 2A.
Hi guys, I am Carmela from BSED 2A. Welcome to our vlog! So for today's video, we are going to talk about science and technology and its contribution to our society. Are you ready? Let's go! Science encompasses the systematic study of structure and behavior of the physical and natural world through observation and experimentation, and technology is the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes. In other words, science is one of the main stations of information. It plays a particular part as well as an assortment of capacities to support our general public, making new information, further developing instruction, and expanding the nature of our lives. Science should answer cultural requirements and worldwide difficulties. So what are the contributions of science and technology to education? Let's hear from Teacher Margie and Teacher Josh.
Technology provides a digital platform, and technology has become an integral element of our life in today's generation. We notice the usage of technology everywhere we go, especially in learning. Technology has made learning both simple and enjoyable. It has become an integral aspect of education, allowing students to quickly access a variety of options for answering multiple questions. There are also numerous platforms where they can post a question or schedule a live engagement with their professors and teachers, such as Zoom, Facebook, Google Meet, and more. Education has gotten easier as a result of technological advancements, and we now have a variety of possibilities in correcting our errors and clearing our uncertainties. Education has become more accessible, welcoming, and fascinating thanks to the internet and other tools. These smart devices also help you save time and money. Learning from faraway regions became possible because of science and technology, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. Schools were closed, distance and online learning was implemented. This teaching and learning approach became necessary in order to continue learning without compromising the health of the individuals. Education was only feasible because it was done online. Technology saved students' lives from a year of being uninformed, and it was because of technology that education was feasible during the pandemic.
Understanding what innovations and science improvements mean for training and advancement can work with dynamic in the public eye To fulfill the business needs, schools and colleges adjust their scholastic projects to suit explicit necessities. At this point, when understudy use innovations and sciences is to help their correspondence, they assume a functioning part as a data beneficiaries. This video blog investigates exhaustively how advancement in innovation and science impact understudy training and businesses. Improvements in science and innovation increment understudy's inspiration by showing through visual introductions. Understudies are concentrating on how sociology through instructive recordings covering points like the social contentions, human science applications, the social cycles, the mental viewpoints, and the other innovations of sciences.
Next is, what does science and technology do to our environment? Let's hear from Teacher Lanie.
The modern upheaval has achieved new advancement with gigantic power. This has been prevailed by proceeded with industrializations and the further mechanical headways in created nations all over the world. And the effect of these innovations on the climate has incorporated the abuse of harm of our regular Earth. These advancements have harmed our reality in two principal ways: contaminations and consumptions of normal assets. First is air contaminations. Happens when harmful or unreasonable amounts of gases, for example, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, nitric oxide, and methane are breathed into the world's environment. The primary sources all connect with innovations which are arose following the modern unrest. For example, the consuming of petroleum derivatives, production lines, power stations, mass agribusiness, and vehicles. The results of air contaminations incorporate negative well-being influences for people and creatures and unnatural weather changes, by which the expanded measures of ozone harming substances in the air trap nuclear power in the Earth's climate and prompt the worldwide temperatures to climb. Second is asset consumptions. Is more adverse consequence of innovations on the climate. It alludes to the utilizations of an asset quicker than it very well may be recharged. Normal assets comprise of those that are in presence without people having met them, and they can be either sustainable or non-sustainable. There are few kinds of asset exhaustions, with the most serious being spraying consumptions, deforestations, digging for petroleum products and minerals, tinting of assets, soil disintegrations, and overconsumptions of assets, that chiefly happen because of horticulture, mining, water use, and utilizations of petroleum derivatives, which have been all empowered by progressions in innovations. While innovation is faulted for a large part of the contaminations that adds to an Earth-wide temperature boost, it might likewise give the answer of the issue. Examinations into new techniques for producing power, and power is bountiful. Specialists desire to track down cleaner and inexhaustible wellspring of energy to supplant the limited stockpile of petroleum derivatives and lessen on Earth-wide temperature boost and environmental change. New techniques like breeze turbines, sunlight-based power, and hydroelectric power, and under a microscope, and are continually liable to trials to work on the effectiveness of existing frameworks. New frameworks of eliminating waste and working on the productivity of the appropriations of power, for instance, may help in many individuals later on by cutting discharges and further developing effectiveness. Activities, for example, those including vehicles that sudden spikes in demand for cleaner powers may likewise altogether impact the manner in which we live from now. Energy proficient items, for example, lights, will likewise add to making the climates more cleaner.
Next is, how does transportation evolve through the years with the use of science and technology? Let's hear from Teacher Jamaica.
Then, thousands of years ago, people began to travel and transport goods on land using donkeys and horses. The wheel was invented around 3500 BC. The early wheels were just solid discs carved out of a single piece of wood. The wheel revolutionized how people traveled and delivered goods. People could only transport a limited number of goods across large distances before the invention of the wheel. Wheels are commonly seen in automobiles, bicycles, and skateboards. But did you know that they may also be found in clocks and in pencil sharpeners? The oldest wheel that archaeologists found came from Mesopotamia, an ancient civilization in the Middle East. It is probably more than 5,000 years old. The wheel is one of the most important inventions ever made, and it has helped people to travel faster and farther than possible on foot. It has also made it possible to transport big loads. There are many different kinds of transportation that use wheels. Some are drawn by animals, like wagons and carriages, and others are drawn by people, like the rickshaw. Cycles also have wheels, whether it is 1, 2, 3, or more. Since the end of the 19th century, motor cars with wheels have transformed human travel forever.
Lastly, how science and technology affect our economy. Let's hear from Teacher Albert.
Increased scientific activity is thought to benefit national economic development by improving labor force capacities and generating new knowledge and technology. However, scientific research activity is expanding globally as a result of a general rationalistic world culture's penetration of societies. It is widely accepted in economics that technology is the primary driver of economic growth in countries, regions, and cities. Technological progress enables more efficient production of more and better goods and services, on which prosperity is based. Science and technology are critical to any nation's progress and development. In any society, technology plays a critical role in wealth creation, quality of life improvement, real economic growth, and transformation.
Lastly, let's hear from Teacher Patricia about the contribution of science and technology to agriculture.
Throughout history, scientific and technological advances have greatly impacted the agriculture industry. Early farmers used traditional tools. In the land preparation, they used wooden plow, yoke, wooden hammer, leveler, and axe. Then, in agriculture operation, they used spades, harrows, kilna, hoes, hand hoes, and iron hooks provided with wooden handles. And in harvesting, they used scythe, small axe, bamboo basket, winnower, siever, hand mill, and sap. These traditional tools can help them in planting. However, these tools cannot make the job easier. Then, they cannot prepare the soil properly because they only use hoe, which result for the plants not being well nourished and producing small grains of rice. And according to the study, it takes 15 hours to harvest the crops compared to the high-tech farming. Moreover, early ideas for growing crops and livestock were shared by mouth. Parents teaching their children in neighborhood tribes will talk and exchange ideas with one another, which means people before had limited ideas for growing crops and livestock because their source of ideas was from their parents in neighborhood tribes only. However, in more recent times, scientists studying at universities devote their lives to research the development of farming products and practices, which result for them to invent technology like tractors and threshers that is used in farming to make the plowing and harvesting faster. Then crop sensor that is used to see how much fertilizer a plant may need based on the amount of light reflected back to the sensor. Furthermore, a rotavator. It is a versatile tillage equipment that uses series of blades to turn up the soil, which would make easy preparation of the seedbed in the farms. And the Global Positioning System, or known as GPS, that is used to improve the crop production. Therefore, this technology improves agricultural practices, since it results in productivity, efficiency, economic growth, and sustainability of farming in agriculture. Moreover, people nowadays get more ideas on how to make their plants grow more abundantly and well-nourished because of the invention of technology. And these technology are cell phones, TV, and radio.
And that's all for this video. I hope you've learned a lot of things from our vlog. Thank you for watching and keep safe.